Why aren't you in touch with your parents anymore? Mother, she kicked me out when I was 16, after me refusing to pretend that her boyfriend's abusive behavior was okay. I didn't fit into her image of the perfect, happy family, and she couldn't be bothered with me. Numerous attempts to reconcile on my end, but they've come to a halt every time my mother refuses to admit any kind of responsibility or fault. She pretends she has a good relationship with me to her friends, and even her brother. Her sisters know, and they're not pleased I have a great relationship with my aunts, but it's weird to know that she's trapped herself in this web of lies where everything is fine and acts like we have a relationship, when we haven't been in contact for over 16 years. Dad, he's an alcoholic. I love him, but he turns into a horrible person when he drinks, so I've asked him not to call me when he's drunk. Last time we spoke he was drunk off his ass and I wished him a happy new year and we'll talk more tomorrow. That's when the texting started and the calls. He called me 30 times after I hung up on him and sent about 40 texts about what a horrible person I was and how he wouldn't let me speak to my baby brother anymore if I didn't pick up. I confronted him the next day, telling him that I love him when he's sober, but if he looked at the texts he sent me, he would see, firsthand, a transcript of how truly awful he can be when drunk. He told me he'd never be good enough for me and haven't spoken to me since, despite me reaching out on birthdays and Father's Day and major holidays. Edit: yes, that is me responding to people on that YouTube video. Name is Sam's. They kicked me out of the house for being too depressed and gave me a 3-day notice to move. When I came back to get some of my stuff they called the cops on me. My mom told people I used to hit her, steal things, do drugs, etc. Even though I never did drugs, I don't steal, and I'm extremely non-violent, especially considering I had a hard enough time just getting out of bed most of the time. When I asked for their help with my dog while I moved to the other side of the country, they said they could take care of him while I get my place set up, since I wasn't sure if the backyard was going to be good for a dog or not at the time. 3 days after I leave to move to the new state, they have my dog put down. Who kills their kid's dog? They didn't notify me of it or even call me to try to find something that I could do to prevent them from killing my dog. They just up and took him to the shelter and told them that he was violent, even though throughout the entire time I ever had him he was never violent or dangerous acting. He was a big dumb cute dog that just wanted to lay in my bed and watch movies with me. Hell, he'd even take up a bunch of the room on my bed, so I'd just use him as a pillow and he was fine with it. So I refuse to consider them family anymore, even though my former mother still loves to use my issues as a way to get sympathy from her shitty friends. Somehow my experiences in Afghanistan and Iraq affected her.